now that our enemies are set up for a proper modular design and we have our abstract class and our enemy here is going to be used strictly as a guideline for other enemies, we can now focus on just our moss giant. Before we get into other enemies, we're going to pretend that our spider doesn't even exist. Okay, we're just going to be making use of our moss giant. So to help us with this here, we have our public void start. We can go ahead and keep that. We can use this for anything that we need to initialize for our moss giant. And then here we have our public override void update. And we're going to keep this because we want to make sure that every enemy we have is guaranteed to have an update method. Now, some of the things that we need to consider here is how does the movement system work? So in our game, if we look at our moss giant here, and I'm going to remove the spider enemy from the hierarchy for now, you'll see here that our moss giant, when we run the game, he plays his walk animation. What we want him to do is he's going to switch between waypoints. So he's going to have 2 waypoints that he's going to walk between. So if we check him out in the scene view here, the behavior is going to be, he's going to idle, he's going to walk. If he reaches his destination over here, he's going to idle, he's going to flip, and then he's going to walk back over here and repeat that exercise until our player gets in view and he becomes aggressive. So to get this started, and this is going to be the ideal behavior for all of our enemies. So one of the things we need is waypoints. We need 2 waypoints for him that he's going to be able to travel between. Now, if we were to create specific waypoints here, we'd be doing this for each of our enemies. So trying to think ahead and foreshadow a bit, let's go ahead and make it a property within here so that we can actually make use of individual waypoints for each object. So here we're going to say, we're going to add a protected, and we'll say transform, and this is going to be 2 waypoints. So we'll say transform, we'll say point A, comma, point B. From here, we can set them to serialized fields so we can see it in the inspector. And now if we want to modify or use point A and point B from the moss giant child class, I can simply type point A or point B. So now we have access to those. So let's go into Unity. And we need to now create these points. So if we look at our moss giant here, right, and you can see here on the inspector, we have the health, speed, gems, as well as point A and point B, and this is going to be unique to the moss giant. So the first thing that we want to do here is we need to create 2 waypoints. The easiest solution here is I'm just going to duplicate the moss giant for visual representation, put one over here, and then create another one, and let's put it where its start position is currently. So let's delete this one and reduplicate the first one. All right, and let's rename this one to point B. This is going to be point B for moss giant. Point B for the moss giant. And then here, this is going to be point A for the moss giant. All right, and we'll straighten this up. So here we have point B and A, and we can reorganize these. All right, now that we've done that, we want to remove all of the components. We just want them to be transforms. So let's remove components off of them. Let's go into them and delete the sprite. Go into them, delete the sprite. We only use that for visual representation so we know where we're going. Now we have point A and B. On the moss giant, let's add point A to the point A directory and point B to the point B directory. Save this, and now we're good to begin our waypoint system. In the next video, we're going to look at the logic for creating this.